I haven't done this in forever because my mic wasn't plugged in for half of that. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm like the worst streamer. And the reason why I'm streaming, I feel like I'm streaming a little bit later than I normally do. I actually probably am. The reason why I'm doing that is because A, my roommate's not here, he just up and left, meaning there's no D&D this week, which is sad. Let me get closer to the microphone so y'all can actually hear me with my inane ramblings. But also, that means I can stream for a little bit later, but I might also not stream for that long because I have to study. And when I say I have to study, I mean I am desperately close to failing some of my classes. And this week has been the week from hell, so this is part 2 of me unwinding for the week. And part of that unwinding, I think my game's a little loud, and I'm a little too quiet. This down to -5 if I can. Okay, there we go. I think that's better. I can bring my game volume up a little bit. So about there. I think that's good. Yeah, that's a lot better. Anyway, yeah, I've just had the week from hell this week, and well, I wish I could ramble about it. My nursing program had me sign an NDA about it, which I know that it's not about like, oh, you can't say, you can say stuff about your clinicals, but it's just don't give any like patient detail. It's HIPAA. It's just HIPAA again. But I'm a little too paranoid to say anything about it because I am kind of worried that they might bring down the full force of the law if I do decide to say anything. So, yeah, that's why I'm not saying much. Come on, let me sleep. But yeah, this week was just not good, and then my exam average and one of my courses, which is stupid the way that they do this. You have to get an exam average and not an assignment average, just like an overall average. And you can still technically fail the class and get moved on, so long as your exam average is good. Which I find absolutely insane, because them saying that, it says to me like, oh, you can just blow off all the homework assignments, right? Because the homework assignments are worth like maybe 10% of your grade. But they've also thought of that too. And what they've said is basically, hey, if you blow off all your homework assignments, we will not pass you because that homework is required for you to pass. But we're not going to count it for really much of your grade at all. So I'm confused in that regard. But, yeah, and I swear to God, one of my professors has it out for me. It's Lent, and if you didn't know, I'm also Catholic. And I had given up caffeine for Lent, and it was stupid. Like, why did I decide to do that? I could have just said, oh, I'm going to drink my coffee black. Or I'm going to just do it without cream. I'm going to do it without sugar, or something like that. Or I'm just going to make my coffee kind of thin. You know, instead of doing 2 spoonfuls of coffee grounds, I can just do a spoonful and a half or a singular spoonful, so it just is very thin or something. Or I still get some of the caffeine, right? But no, I decided to go cold turkey with the coffee. And I lasted a lot longer than I thought I would because Ash Wednesday was late February, and I made it to March 19th, which is almost 20 days. I made it about halfway. But yeah, within that first week of Lent, like right after Ash Wednesday, I nearly fell asleep in her class, and she's had it out for me ever since, it feels like. Just like, I don't know, I think the fact that I nearly fell asleep in her class is like triggered something in her, some latent trauma or something. I don't know. It's just, at this point for me, it's just keep my head down in her class, keep my head down anytime she's within 20 feet of me, because I feel like she is going to be riding my ass the entire time. And I mean, the good thing about that is that I only have till May to actually deal with it. So by the time May rolls around, I'm home free, quite literally, and I won't have to deal with any of that bullshit anymore. Because I don't believe she is faculty for any of the higher levels. And if she is, just, again, keep my head down and shut my mouth around her, because I swear to God, she has it out for me. Also, if she is watching this, I would be mildly impressed. And also very embarrassed. But yeah, it's just... something I gotta figure out at some point. But yeah, part of me unwinding, like, this is part of it, to unwind, just ramble out into the void for all of 0 viewers, or 1 viewer if Twitch is counting myself as a viewer, because technically mods also count as viewers. But also because also what I did was I drove an hour to get Five Guys. And it was like, oh, that's a terrible coping mechanism. Food is never the answer. Yeah, I know that. I'm already fat. I don't need to get any fatter, but I, like, come on, let me have my Five Guys and enjoy it. But, yeah, no, I drove like an hour to get Five Guys, and you're thinking, like, well, Dallas, why did you go an hour to get Five Guys? Because there's Five Guys in a lot of places that are probably a lot closer to you. Now, when I say I drove an hour, it was about 15 minutes, because the city that I'm in is built for you to use the interstates. And I don't like using the interstates, because there's a lot of really bad drivers on the interstates and there's a lot of cops. And driving on the side roads, back roads, through the neighborhoods, you don't have to deal with all those crazy drivers. All you have to deal with is kind of nothing, because there's not really many people out there driving through there. So you're able to take your time. You're able to be driving at a leisurely pace, and you don't have to worry about anything popping up at you. Well, you might, but like it's very rare for that to happen. Or at least I haven't seen it yet. But yeah, that's part of how I unwind, because I like to drive when I get in a funk, which is genuinely what they teach you not to do when you're getting your driver's license here in the States, here in Texas. But I wasn't. Granted, I am still in a bit of a funk, but I'm not as bad as I was like 2 or 3 days ago. Because 2 or 3 days ago, I was in such a funk that I would have probably found a way to hug a tree at 100 miles an hour. But I like in that time I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna call my mom. I'm just gonna rant to her for a little bit. She'll understand. She's not in the same boat, but very similar. Where just shit that can go wrong has gone wrong. Because we both just had a week. But yeah. Other than that, it's been pretty okay for me. Life's been fairly kind, surprisingly. And I say that now, and then I'm gonna wind up dying like 5-10 minutes later. I will rage quit and then be in a funk all over again and drive another hour to get Dairy Queen. And the only reason why I didn't go to drive an hour to get Dairy Queen this time is because it's also still Lent, and I also gave up sweets. Meaning there would be no point in going to Dairy Queen, because don't get me wrong, their food's good and their fries and the gravy is like peak compared to literally any other restaurant, other than maybe Five Guys. But Five Guys does a number on my throat for whatever reason. It's probably because of all the salt that's in their food, but damn if it isn't good. Not good for you, but tastes of freaking amazing. But yeah, that's my whole thing right now. That's kind of why like, it's not the reason why I'm streaming. I'm streaming because I'm trying to get back into the swing of things, and I might try to stream over the summer. Do not quote me on that. And I might try to bring back a podcast that I had with one of my friends. Literally, it was just a podcast where we were just shooting the breeze with each other. We were not doing anything productive. We just kind of talk about how things have been going. Just check up on life, right? Also, Sky is going to have a field day if I invite him onto the server to organize these chests. Because when we used to play Bedrock Edition, this is like the one thing that I would always do is I wouldn't have a storage system, even though I really want to get one, build one. What I would do is I would contract Sky. I would contract him and say, hey, help me get organized. And he would. But he'd be complaining the entire time, and it was absolutely hilarious. It's like every single time it was like, Eli, why don't you get a storage system? I'm like, I'm trying, but no. Because at the same time that, like, yeah, storage system sounds amazing, it's also resource intensive. And at that time, I was digging a quarry, and I didn't have redstone. I was digging that quarry to get the redstone. Well, that's a nice picture. Anyway, But now that I have this thing, I have basically infinite redstone, provided I can get over to it. Now, provided I can get over to it, that means end busting might be happening at some point. Oh, that was a weird lag spike. Also, streaming on dorm Wi-Fi is absolutely the worst experience. But hey, it's fine. Anyway, we are on our way to fix my pick. Okay, yeah. Also, I shouldn't be throwing out my voice because I am going to be reading in church tomorrow. Like normally when I stream, I don't throw out my voice. It never gets really bad, but always it's like there's always that little bit of fear in the back of my head. Is like, you're going to be helping out tomorrow, and if you have a voice crack or your voice just gives out halfway through reading, that's going to be embarrassing. And the reason why it's going to be embarrassing is because there are actual nuns that go to this church, because my school is run by nuns. And if because like they're like that's like I understand screwing it up in front of a priest, that's fine. Like I don't know, for whatever reason it's different in front of the nuns, because when you do it in front of them, it's just like, oh my god, you just fucked up in front of the one religious group that is like all the old grannies that are there. Is just I don't know. It's weirder. It's more embarrassing if you do that in front of a nun. I don't know. I could just be blowing this out of proportion. Also, I should turn down the volume on this. So I can, if I don't get too distracted on Instagram, put this on my story so that people know that we are streaming. I'm going to pause this right here and put it out there. And I always forget how to do links on Instagram. Tres, nine, tres. And is it uploaded? There we go, it's uploaded. All right, yeah, professional streamer. Yeah, slowly but surely that hole has to be finished soon at this point, because it's not starting to bug me, but it's getting there. But this is technically the easier of the two of the two options that I have now to spawn proof, because my two options were spawn proof by going into all the caves in that 30 by 30 area, and placing torches, or and then trying to find out every little pocket and every little spawnable block, or do what I'm doing now and just wipe it all out to bedrock. Because even if there's a block under bedrock, nothing can spawn on top of the bedrock. And in that one block space, I don't believe anything can spawn, not even bats. But I could be wrong. Or I could just get to the first layer of bedrock, put glass down, and then we're hunky-dory because nothing can spawn on glass anyway. But yeah, I think of everything, I think that's the main goal for the time being. You missed. Anyway. Then the next goal, I keep saying this, I keep like laying out pathways for me to do things. And those pathways almost never come to fruition because the hole is still being dug, and I keep forgetting what I said last week. So, what I have to do is get a storage system. That is priority number 6. Then it's end busting, and probably getting an Enderman farm set up. Just have an Ender ready, just because I mean, like, you've seen every SMP that has an Ender. That's end game stuff when you're already getting ready to just focus on creative projects. Another thing that I need to do is put up a gold farm and a bartering farm. So that means I need to get on the nether roof. But that also means I need a hell of a lot of magma blocks, magma cubes. I am going to turn down hostile mobs. Because this blaze farm is loud as all hell. And I don't want y'all getting your ears blown out by all that. But yeah, that needs a lot of magma blocks. Yeah, magma blocks. And I have a slime farm, which means I can just craft them, because I have this blaze farm, which I've only really been using for XP. I don't have like a proper storage, it's just the hoppers that are already full. But yeah, that is the next one, and then at that point I think it's to start prettying up the starter area. Like actually laying down the roads for where I want them to go, maybe moving the villager breeder and the farm. And the reason why I want to move them is because they're in a very awkward area. Because okay, the villager breeder is not in that bad a spot, but the actual automatic farm, the villager farm for the potatoes, is in a weird spot. And I do have a bit of an idea. Why did I hit it with potato? I do have a bit of an idea of what I can do, or of what I want to do, not what I can do, because I'm not sure I can pull that off. Because what I want to do is I want to put it underground to make sure they are 110% safe, have it nice and lit up, obviously, and have a hopper line that instead of goes down into the ground, comes up to like a little food cart. And also have it set up with an auto smelter and a small little bamboo farm just to keep it self-sustained. So that potatoes come out, they get cooked automatically, and then they go up to the top and they're already cooked. And if I can have an auto off switch, that when the chest at the top is full, it changes the route for the hopper to go from creating baked potatoes to creating bone meal, or just voiding off the potatoes. But yeah, I don't have the redstone acumen to do that, and I need to plan that out a lot more than just saying, oh, I have this idea. Because saying, oh yeah, I have this idea is good and all, but it's also just it's not enough just to say, oh, I have an idea. But yeah, there's just a whole bunch of things that I can do, will do, want to do, and may never get a chance to do. For sure, I want to beautify the base, because I want to put in the paved streets and everything. And on top of the slime farm, I know this is probably counterintuitive and will definitely reduce rates. But I do want to put like an oil rig. Um, not not like the ones that they have out in the ocean, like the ones that you see like in the plains of Texas over the oil fields. The like the ones that are the rocking horse type, I guess. The oil pumps. Just put one of those over that, or put one of the towers up for like the oil boom, and then instead of it having oil spewing out, it has the slime spewing out. And that I think is a nice idea. And then going from there, for sure, the factory needs to be updated, and I think I might have Sky do that, or at least have him help me with that. But and I always keep saying, oh yeah, next weekend, next weekend. I'll let him know early just to like say, hey, you want to stream together? You want to do Bed Wars? Or you want to do something like that? And I keep forgetting to do that. So you let me know if I'm a bad friend for constantly forgetting. Come on. No, there's some more blazes up there. There we go. And the mining should go by a lot faster now, seeing as at this point we're working with the cave opening that's there. Because with that cave opening, that also helps. Because I mean, like that's a huge chunk of area that I don't have to dig out myself. Which I love that. That's amazing for me. But it does create the issue of I am stupid and I will wind up dying at least 6 times to that. And when I say I mean I'll die 6 times, I mean I'll die about 600. Now, How's that? Okay, it wasn't. Yeah, because my roommate just up and disappeared for a weekend. So, yeah. And that roommate also happens to be the DM for D&D. Oh, never mind. He did mention that in the Discord server. I'm stupid. I can't fucking read. Yeah, he sent that on the 5th, so this weekend. So, hang on. I need to open a calendar because I... 1, 2. Okay, so yeah, maybe next week we have D&D. So he did mention it. I can't read. And it's a miracle that I'm in college now, so... make of that what you will. As to the acumen of university students. Because I can use big fancy words properly, I just can't do anything else with the big fancy words. Anyway, I... You can really just walk by mobs sometimes, especially mobs that do projectile weapons. Because, like, once they fire, they have a cooldown. And in that cooldown time, you can actually make it by them. Because most of them don't have melee attacks. Because I don't... And I don't believe blazes have melee attacks, which is even better. Also, I still haven't updated to the latest version. For no other reason other than lazy, and I don't want to reinstall all my mods again, which are 4. Because I don't know, I just like... I preferred it when they did the 2 big updates a year. And I don't know if that makes me weird or like I'm in the minority. But for sure I did prefer it when it was one major update every 2 years and then like a kind of minor update every in between. And I believe they were a little bit too ambitious with caves and cliffs. That's why they had to break it up into 2. And the community should have just been a little bit more understanding with that. Because, like, I mean, obviously, shoot for the moon, you'll land among the stars, right? But you're in space without a tether at that point. So you just gotta, like, make for certain what's going on first, and then shoot for the moon with a little bit more accuracy. Because, in all honesty, they could have implemented everything that they said they would. Now, I'm not a coder or anything like that. I don't know how to do programming. I'm just talking out of my ass here. But for sure, I believe they could have gotten everything they wanted Maybe not exactly the way that they wanted it, but for sure they could have gotten something. Because initially they could have just done the biomes. They could have just done the cave biomes and extended the world height. And then in the next minor update, that would have been like a minor update. They were like, "Oh, hey, you can build taller now," and we added a couple of small new biomes with a couple of small things here and there. Then, once they had that all together, they could have pushed the large update where they added the deep dark, the archaeology, and all the mobs. Because at that point, they're adding 2 new structures at least. They're adding a whole bunch more items for sure. And they're adding, I think, 4 new mobs they added. I could be completely wrong with that count. Because it was multiple different kinds of axolotl color. Yeah, those each considered their own mob for whatever reason. Yeah, their own, like they could have all the axolotls. They could have added the warden. They could have added all the loot. They could have added all the new functional stuff in a second update. And it would have been, I think it would have been more well received that way. And if they also didn't just announce random shit during Minecraft Live. And wow, it took me this long to swear. No, I already swore twice already. Anyway, but no, yeah, like that Minecraft Live. I didn't watch it live, but I saw the highlights, and it was so bloated with a whole bunch of things, and I'm just like, how are they gonna get this all in by the time the update is supposed to come out? Because by the time the update comes out, they're gonna be gassed. They're There's going to be a lot of mistakes. There's going to be a lot of things that need multiple secondary updates, multiple patches, multiple bug fixes. And it's just, I don't know. The new Minecraft Live is coming out, and hopefully, like, I don't mind the drops. They're fun. But like, man, we need an actual major content update and a more not consistent schedule, but like a year between development times. Because then I think we'll be able to digest what happened in one cycle, and then the mods will be able to be out and fully updated without having to be changed every 5 to 10 minutes. Which I'm being hyperbolic saying every 5 to 10 minutes, but like, you get what I mean. Because if for the longest time after they started doing drops, vanilla tweaks, which is how I have a lot of the things in this world, was just was just incompatible for a few months after the first drop. And again, I could be talking out of my ass because I think after the first drop, I didn't play Minecraft for a few weeks. But that was like, I don't know, that was like the main issue that I saw with all of this is like, what about the modders? Because they are going to be up shit's creek without a paddle. Now, I believe during the last major like or during the last drop or content notice or something, they made it easier to update mods. They made it easier to mod. And I think that's a step in the right direction at least. But also it feels like they're wanting to get rid of Java at some point. Because the majority of the world plays Bedrock. Like, let's be completely 100% honest here. I played Bedrock for the longest time. The only reason why I play Java is because it runs better on PC, and then you also have the mods that are slice of they're mostly just helping out, but to get something like vanilla tweaks on Bedrock Edition or Essential with the Zoom, you need to actually buy it from the marketplace. And simple things like this, which are out here for free on Java, are like $15 on the Microsoft Store or on the microtransaction version of Minecraft. Which, I mean, fair. Everyone's got to get their bag, and the developers should be paid. But at the same time, it's like some of these prices that they're asking for, again, simple mods. And again, feel free to absolutely tear me a new one in the comments if you do have experience modding. And say, yeah, you're entirely wrong about this. And I will admit it. I will admit that I am probably wrong. But, like, there's just... I don't know. It's weird to me that a mod like Essential or Vanilla Tweaks would actually cost money. And they're not, again, they're also not cheap, like in the any sense of the word. Because whenever I think, I don't know, it's weird. I don't know. Excuse me, cracking my knuckles real quick. And let me see if I can... I am closer to the microphone, which means I should be louder. Yet I still sound like I'm... No, I'm fine. It's just... I need to fix it on the back end. I don't know. Again, this mic was like $5. And honestly, with audio, you get what you get what you pay for. And with streamers, you also get what you pay for, because I am free 99. Meaning I am... Because, yeah, you get something for free 99, you're going to get something that either doesn't work or it works just enough to not justify going to something bigger and better. Oh, my heart stopped. I am so paranoid about falling into that damned hole again. Because, yeah, that genuinely would not be the first time I've done that. See? Even though this hole is tiny, I still don't want to fall in there, because that is going to cause me a heart attack. And I am too young to have a cardiovascular event. Even though there is no such thing with medical issues as too young. I'm stuck in a block. Anyway. That came across a lot better than I thought it would. Yeah. Yeah, when I have to go heal my pickaxe again, I think that's when I'm going to call the stream. So I can actually have some time to study while I watch cars turn left really fast. Because at some point I do actually have to study. Because not studying up until this point has finally come around and bit me in the ass. Which is hard to admit, but yeah, I am kind of dead in the water, if you catch my drift when it comes to anything academia related right now. But yeah, for now I will, yeah, I'll get one more layer done after this. Once I, yeah, yeah. Also, if you're watching this after the stream is over, feel free to share it around. This is weird that I'm doing this halfway through, but I should be doing it at least once after about 10 minutes, and then once once in the middle, and then again at the very end. But yeah, feel free to share this around. It really helps out. I'm in the fire, I'm in the fire, I'm in the fire. Get in the water, get in the water, get in the water. How did I manage to land on a lily pad? Anyway, as I was saying, share the stream around, share the VOD around. Like, if you think someone might be interested, go and tell them, go and let them know that I stream. That's not what I wanted to do. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. Just let them know that you might think they'd enjoy my insane ramblings. Or, not insane, inane ramblings. Because who knows, they might. There's something for everyone on the internet, and I just might be someone's cup of tea, even though I know I am not my own cup of tea. And of course, on the YouTube side, liking and commenting would also be very beneficial. What the hell happened to my voice right there? I actually almost drove because technically I was in a different city. San Antonio's weird because going back to the drive that I went on. Because I was technically in a different city when I went to that Five Guys. But I almost went to a place in Austin for chicken wings. And those wings are from a restaurant from back home where I'm originally from, in El Paso, and holy crap, they're good. Also, their nachos and everything. Like, I'm gonna be honest though, I've never actually had that place's wings. But I've had their burgers, and their burgers are so good. I think I had a bacon avocado burger one time. And holy crap. Half pound of Angus beef cooked to perfection. Very juicy, very mouthwateringly good, very well seasoned. And what I'd give to have another one right now. I just had lunch. Why am I talking about food? I'm getting myself hungry again. But yeah, I almost like drove out to Austin just to get chicken wings. But if we're being totally honest, I can blame my fellow student body for that. Because I asked them, and I said, hey, how far is too far for wings? And they said, if they're good, about 3 hours. And Austin is a 2-hour drive away from where I'm at. So, in that case, it is their fault if I decide to go to Austin for a weekend. Or specifically just for chicken wings. No, I shouldn't blame them. But I will. And I almost went to a swap meet too, and normally I don't like going to swap meets because half the time it's just people trying to sell you some cheap crap that they 3D printed, or at least sometimes. Because that's what's become of conventions and stuff now. But the only reason why I might go is because I think one of the people here on campus, like, I told them I wanted to get into watchmaking, and apparently they have a lot of watchmakers there, and they might be selling their old tools, deciding to part ways with it, and I might be able to get a good price on a lot of those things that are desperately necessary for watchmaking, which range in price regularly from like $50 to $100 for a decent set of tools. And that's just for the screwdrivers, mind you. Like, everything else starts like ballooning in cost. And then, of course, buying watch movements to actually work on, that's another big thing. My mom's right. Like, why do I like getting into very expensive hobbies? Because I still have a 3D printer and I still use it on occasion. but like it's $60 for a kilo of filament. And I don't know. It's just it was $200 for the 3D printer initially. And then I wanted to get a new 3D printer because the one that I have is kind of small, and they actually, I think, discontinued it. But yeah, I wanted to get one of the Bamboo Labs printers because I just want to be able to print in in the multicolor. And those printers are like $300-$400. So the watchmaking tools seem a little bit more affordable, and then you encounter the cost of finding watches to repair, and then once you find a watch that you want to repair, you buy it, it comes in, and you realize half of everything is missing or even more broken than you expected because for whatever reason they decided to use that movement to for parts for a different movement, or the reason why it's not working is because one of the wheels is cracked in half or is completely stripped, or you've got a situation on your hands where for whatever reason just the jewels are cracked, and then you have to go hunting down jewels for the watches. And if you don't know anything about watchmaking, which I barely know anything, I'm not qualified at all to talk on this subject. But yeah, the watches have rubies in them to actually have them run better. Which I did not know up until the point of like actually wanting to get into the hobby. Because I just thought, oh, it's all metal on metal, and it's just well enough lubricated that you don't have to worry about any metal shavings or anything. Nope, turns out they, from the very beginning of having pocket watches, they've been putting rubies in all of the high friction areas because rubies in contact with steel pivots are all but frictionless. Now, I'm being a bit hyperbolic when I say they're frictionless. I mean they run at a highly reduced amount of friction for the sole reason that rubies are very hard and steel is kind of soft. And they still need to be lubricated, don't get me wrong, but it's like it's a lot less lubrication and ¿cómo se dice fastidia? Frustration than dealing with steel pivot holes. And also getting into watchmaking, it's also just an excuse to like, oh, I didn't spend this much money on that watch. It was only $50 when I first bought it, and it's in reality like a $200-$300 watch if you bought it running. Because the jewels inside of a watch aren't really worth much. They're not even a full carat in weight, I don't think. Now, I could be completely wrong in that assessment, but I'm also very wrong about a lot of things. So, if I say anything, do not quote me on it, because there's more than likely false. Oh, that's a block that's just freaking out on the other side over there. I screwed that up. Get out of here, get out of here, get out of here. We don't want you, because you are a dime a dozen. How did I not see you? Granted, I am, probably I'd say gone blind, but no, I just happen to be a guy that, and everyone who knows a guy knows that guys can't see anything for whatever reason, even if it's right in front of them. It's a phenomenon known as fridge blindness, and yeah, it happens to everyone. For whatever reason, it happens to guys a little bit more often, I think. Because I'll be helping my mom in the kitchen. She'll be saying, "Mijo, get the this there, get the I don't know, get the jalapenos or get the mustard or whatever if we're making like burgers or something." And I'll open it, and I know where the jalapenos and the mustard are. They're always on the door. And I'm looking at the door, right where they should be, and I'm like, "Ama, no tenemos mustard, no tenemos jalapenos." And then she goes over and she's like, "Mijo, they're right in front of you." Like, they weren't there a second ago. But yeah, that's please don't fall, because if I fall, I will be very sad. So I'm at Y13, and I started at the very least at Y64. Or last I checked, it was Y64. I could be completely and totally wrong. Which, again, don't put it past me. I've been very incorrect about a lot of things. But yeah, it's slow going for the time being. I think I've run out of things to ramble about. I'm gonna be completely straight. Hey, Dios mío. Oh yeah, it was spring break like 2 weeks ago. No, not 2 weeks ago, last week. As you can tell, I'm also not very good at telling time. This is why I also want to get into watchmaking, because maybe if I work on enough watches, I'll actually develop an internal clock. Which sounds stupid, but then again, have you read any comic book ever? Which is like, that is the exact story of the watchmaking superhero, uh, Clockface, or the Big Ben, or whatever the hell their name would be. It's like, at some point, when I was working on this one Rolex, I got struck by lightning, and I could suddenly control time, and it's like, how the fuck does that make sense? Oh, I almost fell. I almost fell. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. I genuinely didn't like that. Hello, everybody down there. I do not want to visit you. Oh, I do not want to visit you, especially because you are a creeper. You blow things up, and you have an enchanted bow. No, yes, that's an enchanted bow. That's a skeleton. And I have to be very careful with that gravel patch, I'm realizing. Hup. Oh, it's right in front of me. I sleep. But yeah, like, think of it, like every other superhero that has like a weird superpower, it's always been like, oh, I've been doing this one mundane task, and some accident happened around me, some chemical spill or some sciencey bullshit happens, and now you have Frogman because he just happened to be near a frog when, I don't know, when a nuclear reactor went off and his DNA fused with that of the frog or something. Or with the Flash, is like, he just got struck by lightning while doing something with while doing some sort of science experiment, and now he's fast. Because I'm pretty sure at some point, if this is like how superheroes are created, there was someone who was looking for their keys, got struck by lightning, and now has a superpower that he can never lose his keys. Which, yeah, that's an amazing power, especially if you're someone who's super forgetful. But it's like, how in the hell are you going to use that? Like, in any practical sense, like, is their main villain a locksmith or a pickpocket or something? And what is their weakness? A keyring? Because, I mean, Flash's... No, the Green Lantern's weakness is the color yellow. And compared to, like, literally any other weakness, that's the one that makes the least amount of sense. It's like, oh no, I can't be outside on a sunny day because then my powers are all fucky. Oh, update. Jesus Christ, just update. Why are you still monostable? Why are you still up here? Okay, really don't seem like that gravel's gonna be going anywhere anytime soon, unless I, like, actually hit it with a shovel. And I don't want to hit it with a shovel, because if I hit it with a shovel, I'm probably gonna get sucked down with it. And I don't want that to happen, because then I will be in a funk, and my day will be ruined. So I do this. I toss this out of my inventory. I stand here. And just slowly chip away at it. And now a majority of it's fallen. And I don't have to deal with it anymore. Awesome. I don't know why I was so scared of that. Probably because I am traumatized from Bedrock Edition, because any block update would have caused that whole thing to fall. I didn't panic, you panicked. Yeah. We're gonna go and drop some things off and then go back to the Blaze Farm. And hopefully I don't set myself on fire again. Is this one 100% full? No, you're not. You need some granite. I almost have a full chest exclusively of copper. That's nice. And, I mean, I get it. For the longest time, I think this was generated before... Not before they made copper more abundant, but before they made it cheaper to make copper items. But it was for sure, like, this area was generated before that, I think. So that's why I feel like that's why copper's so abundant. Or it was right after they changed it to make copper ore more abundant. And on top of that, this is also a Fortune 2 pick. Which means that, yeah, any ore mined is going to be like double at least, I think. Alright, and we are safe for now. This music's good. Although I do... Like, if I wasn't so scared of copyright, I would try and find some, like, non-copyright, like, Chicano music. Or brass band. Like, the old, like, not jazz band, but, like, big band. Stuff like that, like swing and stuff. I think that would fit the vibe of some of these streams. Or at least it would make them feel a little bit more peppy when I'm not really doing or saying much. I'm tired. And then I have 2 exams this week, I think. Or at least that was what I had last I checked. I could be completely wrong in that regard, but oh, there's a Star Wars con going on in El Paso. Oh, wait, no, this is... Huh. This is an actual Comic-Con that's being hosted by a high school from my town. Oh, that's actually really nice. Also, I'm assuming a lot of people watched the Amazing Digital Circus episode last night, right? Because I watched it right before I went to bed, which was probably the worst idea because I had a weird night. But it was very much like, holy crap. I did not expect them to just decide to kill off Kane. Which I know they didn't decide to kill off Kane. They, like, well, okay. They wrote it in the script, so they did decide to kill off Kane. But I did not expect that. I will put that out there. I did not expect them to do that. I also did not expect Kane to have a mental break, even though they've been foreshadowing it since I think episode 4. So, in that case, June 19th is episode 9, which is the finale. The finale of the Amazing Digital Circus. What is going to happen with that? Like, are they now going to be able to find a way to escape, or is the circus going to be slowly closing in on them? Or are they going to wind up waking up whatever secondary AI there was? Because that's what they dropped at the very beginning. It was like, there was Kane, and then there was the blue one. And I'm assuming Abel, right? Um, Obviously, that's just speculation. I don't think the blue one was probably called Abel. It's probably called Adam or something. I don't know. It could have been Adrian or something, but like the fact that they kill Kane, the circus still exists means that the blue one, the Abel, I'm just going to say Abel from now on, is probably still active. And might let those guys go. Or, and I've seen this other theory going around that, yeah, they're all dead. Which I don't like those theories of like, oh yeah, by the way, they're dead, and anything that they do to try and escape will actually fully kill them a second time. Because that feels like a cop-out. That feels like they're just trying to be like, oh yeah, they're... Because it's also like the whole like, oh yeah, it was a dream. Because those endings are always... Unless they're like purposefully leading up to it and they drop enough hints about it. Or, no. Because they've been dropping a lot of hints that, oh yeah, the dead people theory actually has some weight. But like the whole, oh yeah, they're all dead or this was just a dream is typically very unsatisfying. Unless that dream ultimately culminates with a reunion outside of the dream or the game or whatever. Because from what I've seen, at least with other media, like Narnia, I'm just gonna go with that. They go into the closet, they come out, and then they're there in the closet for years, and then when it's revealed that it was all just their imagination, they're still together, they're still friends at the end of it. That's kind of what I would hope if they're going the, oh, it's all just a dream route, or they were on life support or something. Like, they would recognize each other and still be like, I don't know. They would have to recognize each other and still be willing to at least interact with each other if they come out of this. That to me would be the best way if they're going the it's a dream route or it's they're on life support route. Now, will they go that way? No. Now that I've said that out loud, Gooseworks has a way of finding these things and being like, yeah, that's not going to happen. By the way, I'm going to crush all of your hopes and dreams. Which, this whole thing has been a roller coaster ride, and I've loved every second of it. And even if they do decide, because I did say that, yeah, that would be a disappointing end to it, but that's just my opinion. Someone else could really enjoy the fact that, oh yeah, it was just a dream, and they're like, oh, they're all happy now, because that's what they seemingly want the characters in the show anyway. Their whole motivation is to leave, and what better way to leave a dream than to wake up? That or this is going to be like a SAO, where or Sword Art Online, where, and I haven't watched it. I just read the synopsis and I've seen some of the reviews for it, so I'm not at all well versed, and my opinion should be not treated with any sort of reverence. Where it's like the you die in game, you die in real life, but I don't know. That seems like a route they might go to. But if they did, then that's kind of like, I don't know. I think that ending might, I don't know. I could be completely wrong. I'll just check back on this video on June 19th and we'll see what the hell's going on from there. The only reason why I brought that up is because I'm like also scrolling on Instagram while I'm doing this. I don't know if my headphones are doing something stupid or that was my actual computer that was doing that weird ticking sound. Oh, I'm sorry. But yeah, I just saw a post randomly that was like, oh yeah, from the trailer to that one scene in episode 8 where Pomni gets taken away by what's his face? And tortured half to death because that seems like something that happened. Also, is this the new update? Huh. They're adding a new. Looks like they're going to be adding a new cave mod. Okay, I'm going to say this is another pet peeve of mine, especially with like the Super Bowl ads. If you're going to have something that you want to have hype for, like a Super Bowl ad or an update to a game, you keep that to your chest for as long as possible, so that by the time it actually gets revealed, you have all the hype still there. Because if they release it too early, if they say anything about it too early, then you're like, oh, okay, well then I don't have to watch the big event thing. But I don't know, and that also peeves me about like the Super Bowl, because it's always like until I think they did that one Volkswagen Darth Vader ad. They didn't release the ads on any platform. They might have had a leak here and there, not a leak, but like a teaser here and there of like, oh, we have a Super Bowl ad. It's gonna be a banger. And you would actually watch for, like, people still watch for the commercials. You'd be more enthralled. You'd be more willing to sit down and watch the Super Bowl for the commercials. And now you can find the commercials like 3 months ahead online, and that's another thing that also like pisses me off with streamers. I'm not saying like streaming on Twitch. I'm saying like Hulu and Netflix and all that crap. Because like if you're gonna have a show, because back in the day there was hype for shows. You actually wanted to have the TV guide and watch, like you would have the TV guide, you would set your DVR, you would be ready to watch your show. And when you did get the chance to watch your show, it was always like that was the highlight of your week. That was always going to be the highlight, and you're like, oh my god, I've been waiting for this. The payoff was fairly worth it. Was always usually going to be worth it. But now that we have the streamers where it's like, even with weekly TV now, it's always like, oh yeah, you can watch it here the next day on Hulu. there's no payoff because you can just wait for a series to end for the most part, because most people are going to wind up doing that, and then just binge it all in an afternoon and not feel satisfied. You'll be like, oh yeah, that's a cool show. What else? Move on to the next thing. Because if I'm going to do a show, if I somehow manage to get a contract to do a show, I will have it explicitly written that it has to be weekly, one episode every week, and it cannot be reruns cannot be shown until like 4 years after the final episode. And I know that's probably like a very hot take at this point, because like, oh, what if I miss an episode? Well, that's why you have a DVR. That's why you record it. And that's I mean, most streaming services now also have DVRs. YouTube TV has DVR. Spectrum TV has a DVR. AT&T TV has a DVR. Or not... Yeah, AT&T. But like all of these things, they have DVRs. You can just set up the DVR and watch it later. It, like... Wow, okay. For once the Automod has actually caught a bot in action. I did not expect that. Because usually they're pretty good at flying under the radar. Anyway, going back to my rant about weekly TV. Like, God forbid I somehow managed to get a TV contract. I would have them explicitly put in there that they would not put it on a streamer for at least 6 years, and they would not show reruns for at least 4 years after the show finished. Because then that adds that little element of exclusivity that TV feels like it's missing, and it feels like every week there's a new event to actually watch the show. So, I don't know. Look, I could just be talking out my ass here and feeling like an old soul and complaining about how you youngins have it easy even though I'm not even 20 yet. But like this is something that like it gets my goat a little bit. Also, there's another viewer here in chat. Thank you. It could be the bot. Please tell me you're not a bot. Anyway. Yeah, that's like my whole thing with TV and stuff now. That's why I still enjoy sports so much. Like, I can say a lot of things are rigged, and especially NASCAR right now, especially with 2311 winning everything. It still feels like an event because every week it's going to be something different. Every week there is always something relatively new. And even if it's just like, oh yeah, even if it's and for the most part, yeah, you can watch the race after the fact the next day, but with sports, you kind of want to catch those as they happen. And then with TV, now it's kind of just like there's nothing on because everything's on. And I don't know, I think at this point a lot of us are suffering from content fatigue. Where there's just so much out there that we don't have anything else. There's nothing worth the hype anymore. I might read green. Anyway, Uh, no, not rate. No, that came out weird. The microphone didn't pick it up. I'll probably raid him when I'm done. But yeah, hijo. Also, yesterday was again. I think it was weird. Um, like I had my jaw set basically all day just to try and not, I guess, feel like I'm just going nuts. I mean, the blocks look good for the new biome, at least. Oh, they got like a new, what seems like a new slime variant. Okay, I don't know if that clicking's me or on my computer. I think it's me. I think that's me. Also, they're making a new Minecraft Dungeons. Apparently, they're. I wish they would bring Minecraft Story Mode back, but I know that's never gonna happen. But you never know. Alright, vamos. We are going to finish up this layer and then I'm going to call the stream. Wow, I've almost streamed for 2 hours already. Oh, I'm back. Don't go through the portal. Burn. Burn, stupids. Except you. I you are twice as stupid because you decided to wear clothes. And now your friends are dead, meaning you're dead in like the next 5 seconds. If I don't fall down that stupid hole. I didn't fall down the stupid hole. I'm improving at video game. Ow. Ah, stupid. He got me while he was falling. That is... no, fuck that. Jag off. Anyway. This hole keeps getting deeper, and I keep getting more scared of it because... well, you're just a zombie. You're not too much to handle. Like, weirdly enough, I'm actively seeking out a creeper just to make my point. Or a skeleton or something. Because one of those idiots sniped me from down there, I am falling forever. And I'm also not good at the MLG water bucket clutch. I am not good at pearl timing, and I believe falling while purling keeps your momentum from falling. I could be wrong about that. Again, I probably am. Also, I think I know how the cave ambiance works. I mean, they probably like already exposed how it works. It's based on whether or not you were underground and there's no access to light from where you're at, based on Y level, I guess. Because being all the way down here, that or I accidentally turned it off at some point. But yeah, I'm fairly deep down in the world, and normally by now, if this was still covered, I'd be hearing cave sounds every 5 seconds. But yeah, then again, I might have actually turned it off. I'm not sure. And if you're wondering why I'm getting rid of all the cobblestone, it's because it's a dime a dozen. And it's so common to the point where it's annoying to have a surplus of, when you can just easily set up a cobblestone generator anywhere you need it. Same with basalt. But Blackstone, on the other hand, Blackstone, that one's a different story. And I think I have a data pack that allows you to craft it out of basalt and either coal or black dye. And for the time being, yeah, that's going to be my go-to way of getting Blackstone. And another thing that I'm surprised, because like Blackstone is technically farmable through piglin bartering. What about deep slate? Because deep slate is not farmable in the slightest. I don't know if they meant to leave it like that. I don't know if they're going to keep it like that. But it feels like a slight oversight when literally every other stone variant is farmable. Because you can farm basalt, you can farm blackstone, you can farm cobblestone, you can farm technically diorite, granite, and andesite. And out of all of them, the only one that you really can't do, other than also calcite, is blackstone. Not blackstone, freaking deep slate. Oh, something got in my eye. Also need to send my friend the thing that I use for my PNG. Because I said I was going to send it to him earlier this week, and I completely forgot to do that. I am a bad friend, I know. But I also need to update the little guy. Because I am unemployed. And I need to apply to job and get job so that I can pay artists to make character look better. Because I am decent at art, but I am in no ways good enough to actually have it here. But then again, my audience is like a pebble, so I think drawing it myself would be better. But I am not good at faces, and I am not good at the 3/4 head tilt that this guy currently has. And also, I don't think I will go moss mining for the last bit of it when I'm in the deep slate. Because I want the deep slate. Because that would be a really good, like, paving block for roads and stuff. Now, the better paving block would technically be black concrete, because it's like smooth, fresh paved road. But my whole thing is I want to look a little bit more worn in some areas. So deep slate, either tiles or cobbled deep slate. Would look so much better in that regard. Again, I could be completely off about that. And once I actually start trying to figure it out, it's going to look like shit. But who knows? It could actually look really good. And if you're wondering why am I just throwing deep slate out, it's so little because I used it to pillar up by the beacon that it's not worth holding on to. For the time being, I will go and set up the BRB screen because I'm going to go get some water. I'm going to use the restroom real quick. So, enjoy the background music for a little bit. is back. Because I am back, one is back. I don't know why I don't know when I started saying one when I'm talking about myself. But hey, if it works, I guess. I don't know. I think I'm going to call the stream here. Stream for about 2 hours. I have about 2 hours worth of recording that needs to render, which gives me time to study while I wait for all that to happen. I'm just gonna go to sleep, clear my inventory out real quick, and then I will actually end the stream because I don't want to end my stream while it's still dark in the world. So yeah, I will end my stream now and my recording. So, have a good day. Y'all be safe, and see you in the future at some point. Should have probably ended it when I went on break. Anyway, yeah, see ya.